What up, YouTube Nation? It's your boy Trey, and we're about to react to another video today. But today we're doing something special. We're starting a new series called An American in Spain. Porque yo vivo en España. I live in Spain, and I've been here for this is actually my second time in Spain, and I love my life here. My life is super at peace. It hasn't always been the funnest, but I enjoy overall just living here and the peace it brings me. But there's something years about being here in Europe is that I always have to listen to people take a swipe at the United States of America. I wonder why, but people always take a swipe. We're like a little punching bag, man, and folks they love to throw they little two-piece combo at you, you know. So it is what it is. Uh, Again, starting this series in American in Spain, reacting to some stuff, and we're gonna react to this very first video. 10 things Americans do that are weird, but we don't know that are weird. But you can see them in the title. So, without further ado, man, let's get started. But hey, I really mean it. If you're enjoying the content, please like, share, and subscribe. And I want to give a shout out to my first 11 subscribers. Yeah, I know some of you. He's got 11 subscribers. Laugh at him. Yeah, it is what it is, man. I'm humble. All right, I'm humble, and I appreciate every sub that I get. Starting out in this space is never easy, especially being a newcomer right now in spaces that are very, very well, uh established already, and just trying to put my own twist on these things. So anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Let's see what Miss Diane Jennings has to say here. By the way, shout out to Miss Diane Jennings. I apologize if I critique anything that you said. It's not anything personal. It's just that I may have disagreed. That's all it is. Because obviously I think you do. I've seen a few of your videos, and I think you do great work on here. So this is the first time watching this one. Again, if I have a criticism or a critique, it's nothing personal against you. I just didn't agree with that sentiment. Uh, but for everyone else watching, please make sure I'm going to drop a link in the description. Make sure you reach out and like, share, and subscribe this video on Miss Diane Jennings's YouTube channel. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's react to this 10 things American people don't realize are weird. Let go.
So I've done a lot of lists on this channel, a lot of weird lists, a lot of things about America, but weirdly enough, I've never actually done 10 weird things Americans do. And yes, saying Americans is a broad generalization, but that's what makes it a list.
Not every American person will do these things.
And that's okay. So I thought today it would be fun to talk about 10 weird things that Americans do that I would put on that list, and there are a ton. I'm not saying you're weird in a bad way. Weird is a good thing on this channel. Before we get into the list, if you could like, share, and subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome because it's important for stuff and things. Finally. And today I want to thank the members of the Karmic Gold Squad over on Patreon who've made this video possible by giving me a roof over my head to live in, and cat ears to just, I don't know. And on with the list. Coming in at number 10, Americans get doggy bags in restaurants. Now, you can get doggy bags in the rest of Europe. Although when I was growing up, it would kind of be a weird thing to ask for a doggy bag in a restaurant. I remember trying to do it after I'd seen it on a TV show. And the waiter looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, "You want a bag for your dog?" And I was like, "No, I don't have a dog. I just want to take my leftovers home." But now...
Oh, I was like, what the fuck is a doggy bag? Okay, so it's like being at a restaurant and taking food home. Why is that weird? I've seen it done in all over Europe. Even in Scandinavia, I see people take food home. So I don't understand why this is weird and focused on Americans, pero bueno, no sé. Sorry, Miss Diane, I gotta disagree with this. I just don't see why this is weird because, again, this is something that is done all over the world. Again, nothing personal here, but I just don't see this as being weird and unique to the United States of America. So I'm gonna have to get this up there. X. I'm sorry, Miss Diane. No, no, no.
You can definitely do it without much fuss. In America, however, it's very standard because your portion sizes are huge and a lot of you guys won't finish your meal. So it makes sense that you can get a doggy bag to take it away. Waste not, want not, as an Irish mammy would say. Not my mum, she never said that. Coming in at number 9.
Yeah, and I will agree with that. Our portion sizes in the U.S. tend to be a lot bigger than the rest of the world. So I do agree with that, and maybe that's why we have doggy bags to go trays. Still don't know why it's called a doggy bag, but
Bottled water. You guys love your bottled water. In fact, it seems to be a source of braggership. Evian. There was a famous thing with Mariah Carey wanting to take a bath in Evian water. Evian. How do you pronounce that?
avian water.
I don't know. I've been informed that in America, most cities technically have drinkable water coming out of the taps, but some people say it tastes funky. And I guess the reason for that would be because it's very treated. There's a lot of fluoride and stuff. That's why you guys have the great teeth. So there's a reason for you guys to get bottled water. But in Ireland, definitely it's more common for people to get water out of the tap and even put it in the fridge and keep it there. Or those filters that you fill up and the water gets purified through it, you know, from the tap and it gets purified. I have a weird thing. I can't notice much difference in water taste. So when people are like, this is a really good water, I'm like, water all tastes the same. But other people tell me all water doesn't taste the same, so okay.
All water doesn't taste the same. That's a fact. For example, living here in Madrid, water in Madrid it tastes great. If I go to Valencia, oh my God, water does not taste so good in Valencia. So yeah, I'll disagree with this too, Miss Diane. That all water tastes the same. It doesn't. But you're absolutely correct. We do. Come on, can none of y'all disagree that we love water bottles in the U.S.? It's so true. But a lot of us also have tumblers. So I'm not going to disagree with this point at all because I do know that we love to buy bottled water, but I also know that a lot of us also have tumblers. And yes, a lot of us do have water filters that we put into our in our fridges to filter the water. And yeah, we do have a lot of fluoride in our water. I detected no lies with this at number 9.
Coming in at number 8, it's tax at the till. It's called the sales tax. And I guess this makes sense because every state has its own taxes, but it's super confusing to a foreigner coming in. In our stores, we go in and we see the price on the price tag and we pay the price that's on the price tag. But in America, you see the price on the price tag and you know you're going to go up to the till and it's going to cost like a little bit more. And if you're American, I'm sure this is totally normal and you've gotten used to it and you can do really fast maths. But for an outsider coming in, it's definitely awkward and, you know, I didn't come to this store to do maths.
Es verdad, los impuestos, those taxes, you don't. It's really difficult when, being here in Europe and seeing just how that system works, right? Where I go to the market or I go to a store, I go shopping or something like that. The price I see is the price I pay, right? That is not the case in the US. And because every state has a different tax law, tax code, whatever. But that is still not an excuse for why we cannot do that in the United States of America. We have enough systems that can do that to where Walmart pricing, it can be different depending on whether you're in California or you're in Delaware. There are computer systems that can do that for people. It's just I don't understand the reasoning behind it, but it is what it is. I agree with this 100%, Miss Diane. Talk your stuff, Miss Diane.
There doesn't seem to be a huge disparity between states and how much sales tax, so could you all just sit down and decide on just one and just make life easier for everyone and then we could have the real price on the price tag? Thank you. That's probably not going to happen, Diane. You have no sway at all.
No,
Talking to yourself in the third person is weird.
Don't I know?
Coming in at number 7, you guys celebrate hard, and I mean really hard. In America, they love an excuse to have a good old party, and so everything is a reason to celebrate. You got a promotion, let's celebrate. There are even divorce cards now, let's celebrate. You graduated from the 6th grade, let's celebrate. I don't know how old you are in the 6th grade, no idea. I actually think this is a lovely part of American culture, so long may it last. Coming in at number 6, you guys drive on the road.
I actually do not disagree with that point either, but I have to get a little bit of pushback because I live in Spain. And oh my goodness, they celebrate everything here in Spain. Everything. Did I say everything? Everything. Yes, they do. They celebrate everything here. So, yeah. I don't think that's something that's just weird to the United States of America because I swear, being here in Spain, I have at least probably have almost 100 days of 100 free days of vacation per year. Probably not that much, but it's high up there. It's definitely over 60, close 70.
Wrong side of the road. Or the right side of the road, but it's the wrong side of the road. 6, you guys drive on the wrong side of the road. Or the right side of the road, but it's the wrong side of the road. As I understand it, back in the day when the English used to colonise North America, you guys used to drive on the left-hand side of the road. Then you gained independence and you were like,
You know how we're gonna assert this independence? We're gonna drive on the right hand side of the road.
that was a weird accent. Anyway, none of this matters to me because I don't know how to drive. So
This one I honestly I do not get because only in the UK do you drive on the other side of the road. It's and UK territories, not all but some this happens in, but throughout all of Europe, everyone else drives on the right side of the road. It's not this whole thing of people driving on the left side. Um, so yeah, sorry, Miss Diane. I gotta say, ixnay on this one, yo. No, no es lo que es.
yeah. Bus squad. Which leads me to my next point. In America, you guys drive everywhere. In Europe, we tend to walk or cycle a lot. I personally don't cycle because I tried to do that as a grown up a couple of years back and then the next day I couldn't walk upstairs. Cycling's a lot easier when you're 10. But yeah, due to the size of America, you guys just drive absolutely everywhere. You don't even get trains or buses quite as much as we do, unless you're in a particular city that's very common. But from my observations, you tend to drive even around the corner. You don't walk so much. And there's a lot of parking in America, and you guys charge a lot for parking. So yeah, that's big business in the States.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Gotta agree with that statement 100%. Straight up, it's true. We do a lot of driving in the U.S., but I do want to I appreciate Diane for definitely saying that for acknowledging the size, the sheer size of this country. This country is huge. It's massive, right? And so, yeah, people tend to drive places because your closest friends live about an hour away. Just to be able to get a peace of mind or whatnot. Not everyone lives congested inside of a city like you see in Europe and stuff like that. Um, so it's true. The congestion is big time in the cities here, and people do walk a lot where they're going, and people use the metro a lot and public transportation in general. And public transportation in Europe is generally light years ahead of public transportation in the United States. There's a lot of fear mongering around public transportation in the U.S. We do not allocate the funding to make sure that we have safe and proper public transportation. It's always some kind of fear mongering around us why we don't have better systems, but absolutely true. We do drive every single where to the points where, even to just go around the corner or something that could be a 5-minute walk, we'll rather make that drive. And I think that's just cultural. So no disagreements here. I agree with her 100%.
Coming in at number 4, you guys love your constitution and you talk about it a whole lot. Again, not every American, but it's just something that comes up a lot, the constitution. And I think I've mentioned this before, but because it just keeps recurring in the comments, I needed to touch on it again. In Ireland, we also have a constitution. Oh god, I'm Americanizing it. We say constitution and it's called Bunreacht na hÉireann. It was ratified by the people of the Republic of Ireland in 1937 and it is the law of the state. It forms a huge part of human rights in Ireland and includes freedom of speech. Yes, we have freedom of speech. It's not an exclusive thing to America. Most Americans know that, but not all, judging from some of the comments.
I don't get that. Nah, I'm lying. I do get that. They're ignorance. But again, I, I push back on this just a little bit because other European countries have no idea, like citizens of other countries. If I were to ask Spanish citizens today about which countries have freedom of speech or constitutions throughout Europe, I don't think that many of them will be able to answer that question. But Diane is absolutely correct. Oh my goodness, we do overuse the term constitution. We overuse the shit out of it.
That's okay, because we're all learning together. I actually do learn a lot reading the comments myself, so I hope you guys, it works two ways. Quick aside, do turn on your notification bell, because I always stay on for like an hour after I upload and talk to people, so yeah. Coming in at number 3, you guys start school really early in the day. I found this out recently. A lot of you guys start school at 7 o'clock in the morning, which means you get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes. That's crazy o'clock in the morning. I am very much in the depths of sleep at that time. Usually if it's after an upload, I've been asleep like a couple of hours, maybe 2. Point
The heck?
being, that's the middle of the night, you crazy kids. What are you doing? I think there are some practical reasons for this to do with the roads not being overclogged at the same time of day, but it's still a crazy time for a human being to start their day. That's just my 2 cents, I don't know. I actually
Yep, and I cannot debunk this either because I remember even when I was in high school, I used to have to be in school my junior and senior year just to exercise as part of my elective program, my elective courses, to take gym classes. So I had to be in school by 6:15 a.m. in order to have that class and be ready for regular classes by 7:15 a.m. So yeah, a bit brutal, but that's the life, especially when you are a grade school athlete, right? You have to be there. We're there from sometimes 6 a.m. to if you're doing football practice or wrestling practice or baseball practice or whatever it is, you can be in school sometimes until 10 p.m. So that's quite normal for us. But I think this is how we start to build that machine, that rat race of working. Why Americans work so hard, I think it's kind of ingrained quite early on.
went to this really weird school before that I had to start my day at 8 o'clock in the morning and people thought that was crazy. The weird school is a whole other story. We had a warden instead of a principal. And no, it wasn't jail, but that's a story for another day. Coming in at number 2.
MURICA.
Did I say it right? I don't know.
Murica.
One of my favorite things is when Americans say "Murica" in a real cynical way. I just find it really funny. It's like you get the joke, you know? Because observing as a person from another Western culture, Americans are just so into being American. They have a lot of national pride, and we've touched on it before on the channel. They wear their flags everywhere. But yes, they're excessively proud of their country, and they talk about America a lot.
I don't like the generalization of they wear their flags everywhere. You have never seen me whatsoever wearing an American flag, anything on my body outside of my flag patches I wore when I was in the U.S. military. I have one of those over here in the corner that I'll probably post up in one of the videos next ones. But yeah, this it's not. I really believe that the representation of Americans across we picked the worst Americans to show to the world. Nothing wrong with having national pride or, nationalistic pride or whatnot. Um, Unfortunately, some people just take that shit to a whole different level, to a whole different ball game. So it is what it is. I'm not disagreeing with anything that she's saying. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with the flags either, but I am saying that's not all of us. For me, I'm a true believer in the United States flag code, and you'll never ever even go back and try to find videos of me or pictures. You will never find me wearing an American flag T-shirt, American flag white beater, shorts, anything. Nope. Because I never believed that a flag or the U.S. flag was meant to be worn on your body. Again, I understand why we have the cavalry flags that we put as patches on our uniforms. Those I wear. I will wear T-shirts with those cavalry flags on them. I have. I don't have many of them, but as far as just wearing this, I think that it's not as many people who wear their American flag on their bodies as the media would like people to believe. But that's just me.
MURICA.
And to reiterate, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's an unusual thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think I wish more people took pride in their countries around the world. Here in Europe, sometimes it seems as though if you take pride in your country, that makes you a fucking fascist. I don't understand the logic back there, but es lo que es. It is what it is.
from the perspective of an Irish person. And the number one weird thing Americans do is call their national sporting events World Series. There's a couple of different sports in America that do this, like you have baseball, the World Series, or I think in American football, you have like a world event, but it's not the world, it's just America. It's a lot like Miss Universe, it's just Earth, and that thing is a whole other kettle of fish too. And that's it for our
I agree. Yes, you're right. We call it the World Series. I've never heard the Super Bowl being champions of the world or whatnot, or American basketball being the champions of the world. And yes, people say that it's true, but is this what athletes are going around saying? I don't think so. I think this is what's also a kind of a controversy during the Olympics here, the recent Olympics we just had in Paris. Excuse me. And I don't know. I don't, I'm not sure where I stand on that. Because again, it's difficult for the U.S. to be beat in baseball when they send their best. It's difficult for the U.S. to be beat in basketball when they send their best out into the world stage, and it's difficult. It's definitely difficult for American football players. That is professional. That is not a bunch of high school kids to also be this way, right? So I don't know. It'd be hard. It'd be difficult to beat any of these Americans in these sports that came from the U.S. Am I saying it's impossible? Absolutely not. Have we seen it happen before? Yes. Japan has beat the U.S. in baseball before. Many teams have beat the U.S. in basketball before. But there's a difference when you send your best for the best. When it comes to American sports, the U.S. usually tends to take that world stage. It's just like, if you send Americans to go play English footballers, right? The best of the best in England. You're not really expecting the US to win that. You're not expecting many countries to win that match against England. So I don't know, man. I agree that it should not be called, World Series or whatnot, but I also know that when they've played on the world stage, they've been impossible to beat majority of the time.
this for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments any weird observations that you have about America, and maybe I'll make another list.
No, please don't make another list. I'm kidding, Miss Diane, but no, really, seriously, I'm gonna look at a lot of this. I'm gonna start reacting to a lot of these videos. An American in Spain, reacting to Trey acting rather to what the world thinks about the United States of America. So if you're liking this content, please, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, subscribe, comment. Please comment. If you have any videos that you would like for me to react, please let me know. I would love to do that for y'all. But without further ado, man, I really appreciate you guys and thank you for watching another episode of Trey Actions. And I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Love y'all. Bye bye.